What is up, Eddys? Welcome to Advisorly's YouTube channel, the #1 transfer app for community college students looking to transfer to four-year universities. Check the description box to download the app below for free, of course, because we're all about giving you guys free resources. And if you didn't already know, which you probably don't because I've never explained it, Eddie is our mascot or our logo for Advisorly. He is an owl, and I just think it's really cute for us to call all of you guys, all of the subscribers, Eddys. Anyone who wants to become a part of our community college community, I guess. Yeah, you guys are all Eddys, so welcome, Eddys. We're so happy to have you here, and we want to be able to help you navigate your community college journey from start to finish. And just watch you go through your transfer journey and help guide you throughout that journey. But today we are going over community college red flags. So I want to give a little bit of a disclaimer before I start. These red flags, yes, they are red flags that college admissions would view on community college students. So college red flags that students would have. But all universities are different, so they have different standards, different requirements, and some universities are very forgiving. They have way higher acceptance rates, so even if you do these things, there are universities that will accept you no matter what, and you could explore those universities on Advisorly and see which ones differentiate depending on their requirements and depending on their acceptance rates. All that information is available and accessible at your fingertips on Advisorly, so I highly recommend downloading the app, which is in our description box, and sorting through that, especially if you're like early on in your transfer journey and not sure where you want to transfer yet. Different university systems have different requirements and different standards, so that's why it's really important to do your research on each university. And you could also communicate with the universities on there, so if you have questions or unsure about something, all you have to do is message them. It's that easy. But without further ado, let's get into community college red flags. So basically, these are red flags that a community college student would have to college admissions. So it's not all college admissions teams. These are just the really prestigious colleges that have like low acceptance rates. Definitely not to say that if you have these things or do these things, you won't get accepted anywhere. It's just mostly more competitive universities that would view these traits in a community college student as a red flag. Does that make sense? The #1 red flag to college admissions is only focusing on having a high GPA. And that's not to say that having a high GPA is bad, of course. Having a high GPA is great and makes you stand out as a student. It's very admirable to have a high GPA. However, if you're only having a high GPA and not doing anything else outside of academics, that's a little bit questionable because it shows you don't have any other responsibilities outside of academics. Unless your major is super like course heavy, like a STEM major, there should be other responsibilities, whether it's working outside of school, whether it's joining extracurriculars like clubs, volunteering, and like at-home responsibilities like taking care of siblings if you're the older sibling, or taking care of a grandparent if you're living with your grandparents. But essentially, you don't want to have just your GPA be the best quality about your application. You want to make sure that you're standing out in other ways or other areas as well. I believe that it's more admirable to have a mid GPA and more responsibilities. That way you are a well-rounded student and you don't just have a high GPA. That's not the only good thing about your application. That's not the only thing you have going for you as a student. You have other things outside of your GPA as well. Especially nowadays, because college admissions are very competitive with like the more competitive schools. GPA is not cutting it. Like if that's all you have, does not make you stand out as much. #2, the second red flag I have is having meaningless extracurriculars. So this is a big one for like UCs especially. If you have extracurriculars that you don't have an important role in, like you're not really an active member, you just show up to the club and you don't have any main responsibilities, that is a meaningless extracurricular that won't really help your college application stand out in any way. Just being a passive member is not enough. Instead of that, I would say having like a leadership position in an extracurricular or having an active role is a lot better. That's a green flag, opposed to not having an active role, being passive and not having a strong position in that extracurricular. Third red flag I have is not completing major prerequisites. So that is super important as a community college student. You need to complete your major prerequisites for most universities that you're applying to transfer to. A lot of students make the mistake of doing their general eds first, which yes, you do want to have those completed, but they're not as important as your major prerequisites. That kind of goes in hand with my next red flag, which is not doing well in your major related courses. So if you're doing poorly in your major related courses, that doesn't really look great to college admissions, because those are the only classes you'll really be taking once you transfer, because you'll start to take your upper division courses, which are more major heavy courses, and you're basically doing in-depth, more focused classes on your major. So doing poorly in those classes during community college does not look great. That is a red flag, because you're unlikely to succeed once you do transfer. So you do want to make sure you're getting at least passing grades in all of your major related courses. The next red flag is really important and goes overlooked a lot of times for a lot of students, but that is being a ghost applicant, which that essentially just means you are not communicating with the universities you're applying to. And that is important because you need to be updated on which courses you need to take, as I just said, for your major. And you also want to know what their standards are, what their requirements are, and just make sure you're very in tune with what that university wants from you, especially if it's your top choice. But I would say for your top 3, you should be communicating with them. And like I mentioned before, you could communicate with the universities on Advisorly, and you could also join group chats on Advisorly for the universities you're applying to. So since I went to UCLA, I would definitely utilize the group chat for UCLA students, for future UCLA students. That way I could communicate with other students who are applying and might have answers that I don't have. Because a lot of students will share resources and ask questions and share tips there as well. But that is all for today. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Comment an Eddie down below if you want to join our community college team, and introduce yourself. What's your major? How many years have you been at community college? Where do you want to transfer to? Or let us know if you have any video requests for topic ideas. We have tons of people on our transfer team. Anything about community college or transferring or university or college admissions or college applications, we'd love to make a video on, but let us know what you guys want to see on this channel. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you Eddies have a great rest of your semester. Bye!